Hello everyone, welcome back to Baruch Nation. Let's go for a drive. It is I don't want to say beautiful, it's a nice April day. It's warmish, it's threatening to rain, a little bit cloudy, but otherwise, you know what? I'll take this over cold weather, so I ain't gonna complain. So the topic for this drive, for this conversation on the road, is going to be Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, I watched it at home because here in Ontario, we are once again in lockdown. Theaters have been closed for about a year, right? Yeah, I'd say about a year, or just over a year. Anyway, it's been too long. I used to go to the theater almost every Friday and take in a flick, but now I have to, I'm going to be buying a new television. I haven't gone 4K yet, so I'm going to go 4K, possibly 8K, depending on the price. There's an 8K TV I saw for Christmas of 2020. The price seemed really reasonable, but the specs were not high-end, considering it's an 8K TV. And there's 4K televisions that have better specs. But what I try not to do is get caught up in the whole race. Look at this guy. I try not to get caught up in the whole race of, the best, because I'm buying something that's going to be better than what I currently have, even if it's not the best of what's out right now, right? Try not to get caught up in that bullshit, because all it's going to do is cost you money. And if you're not going to use all the features, like I know people, they have to have iPhone, or they have to have the newest Samsung, but they don't use any of the technology that the devices have. So what's the point? Waste of money. Anyways, off topic. So back to what I was saying. So yeah, because right now all of our theaters are closed, I can't go to the theaters to watch my movies. I want to upgrade to a bigger TV that's also 4K, so I can enjoy movies like Godzilla vs. Kong at home through the multiple streaming services that I have available to me. So I watched Godzilla vs. Kong actually on the Apple TV app using my PlayStation 5, because my Apple TV box is the original one. Don't even know if that works still, but I don't even use it anymore because, I have a PlayStation 5, but I just use that for media. But I bought it, I paid for it, right, on Apple TV, because we didn't get it. We don't have HBO Max in Canada, so we don't get all of the movies released. Like, I actually wanted to watch Tom and Jerry, but I refuse to pay a premium for a movie that I just kind of want to see. So I went, if we had HBO Max, I just watched all the movies. But anyway, and I probably would have rushed and I would have got the TV already. I probably would have bought the 8K because it's an 8K LED, right? It's not an OLED. It's just the LED LCD technology, but it's still 8K. I've been trying to find reviews on it. There's extremely little, which is annoying. But anyway, Godzilla vs. Kong, I enjoyed it. Some of my friends did not. They're like, oh, the story wasn't as good, and I get it. There was a lot of missed opportunities, in my opinion. There was a lot of things that were set up in the previous movie that there was no payout for. But for what I wanted to see Godzilla versus Kong, and I got to see Godzilla versus Kong 3 times. They fought 3 times in the movie, and then they team up. No spoilers, all you have to do is watch the trailer. But anyway, it's been long enough now that if you haven't seen it, it's too bad for you. But I got to see them throw down 3 times, 3 different locations, in the daylight, where it was bright, on the water, in the city. That's all I wanted to see. I don't expect, when I watch a monster movie, what people forget is the star is Godzilla, or the star is Kong. In this case, it is both. Neither of them speak English. So you have to understand, they don't speak. So you can't expect there to be an Oscar-winning performance. You just got to see them do what they do on the big screen. Well, I'd prefer the big screen. But if you got a big screen at home, you know, for me, anything 65 inches and over at home, to me, that's a big screen. So if you got a big screen at home, hey, more power to you. I need to buy a surround sound system just so full experience, you know, full immersion. But yeah, my friend's like, oh, there's nothing wrong with liking the previous movie more. But one thing, I was watching a video earlier today and the guy was talking about it. He goes, this society we're in now, the era that we're in now, everything is always comparing to the past, right? Oh, the past did this, the past did that, guess what? The past is over, right? If an old piece of technology you feel is a better piece of technology, then buy that. Buy the old technology. If you think the old movie's better and you want to watch it, wow, that guy's making an incredibly illegal turn. Right through a red light. Incredible. Anyway, if you think the old movie, you're not going to know you're not going to necessarily like the newer movies compared to the old movies, but you have to look at it for what it is. Looking at it, the old movie had this, the old movie had that. Yeah, but the older movies were individual movies. There was a Kong movie, there was multiple Godzilla movies. This is Kong and Godzilla. Whenever they do a versus or a team up, you're not going to get the same character development or the same focus on the character, because now they have to spread it between the two in one movie. But yeah, for what I wanted to see Kong versus Godzilla. I got Kong versus Godzilla. I'm a happy man. I don't put too much into, I think it's electric bike. I don't put too much into, the story and, yeah, is it flawed? Of course it is. If you want to sit there and analyze, majority of the movies are flawed. Majority of movies have huge plot holes, right? But you just got to take it for what it is. Look at it for what you're going to see it for, right? Another topic, maybe I'll say for a different movie, Justice League, Snyder Cut, right? It's a lot easier. I love the movie, by the way. Let's get that out of the way. 4 hours went by very quickly, but you gotta, just remember, you gotta invest. You got 4 hours, unless you wanna watch. It's broken into 6 parts, so if you wanna sit down and watch it in the parts, for me, waste of time, watch it all at once. But I'm a movie guy, so that's what I'll do. But it's easy for that. It's easy because he already saw the other movie. It's easy to correct and work, build upon to better something that already exists, right? So of course the movie, he already had his vision. Plus he saw all the complaints of the previous movie, so he purposely made things for the fans to correct what they didn't like about the previous movie. It's easy. But anyways, back to Godzilla versus Kong. Right? The visuals, like I really feel that the people who do the teams that do the special effects need to get a lot more credit for the work that they do, because nothing in that movie was real except for the people. Everything was computer generated. Everything was done by an artist, teams of artists, and it looked fantastic. Skin cracks, ripples, bruising, breathing, heaving, fur blowing in the wind, scales, right? Like, incredible. It looked incredible, right? And you have to remember, these things don't exist, and they have to make them feel like they have scale, like weight when they're moving around. Of course, they, like most movies, they take liberties with plots and they do things just to further things along. They create things just because it makes sense for that movie. For instance, King Kong is like 100 feet taller than in Skull Island. Why? Because if he wasn't 100 feet taller, then Godzilla would just freaking kick him and the movie would be over, right? Simple battle, because Godzilla was like 300 feet. Kong was what, 200 feet or 100 and something feet in Skull Island. So Godzilla was already established at like 300 whatever feet. So if he didn't magically grow to be close to Godzilla's height, then the battle will be even less believable. But let's be honest, you have a radioactive giant lizard-esque dinosaur creature who's fought multiple titans bigger than it and won, right? Died and come back to life, on top of the fact that he's radioactive, fighting against literally just a giant ape. The giant ape ain't gonna win. So what else did they do? Oh, all of a sudden, Kong's ancestors had a battle axe that can absorb Godzilla's radiation and can withstand Godzilla's attacks. So once again, otherwise, all Godzilla had to do was blast Kong once, movie's over. So they had to create things to try to even the odds, right? I'm not gonna tell you who wins, if there's a winner or not, but I'm pretty sure you can figure it out. But once again, they had to do what they gotta do to make the movie as entertaining as possible. Because if Godzilla just stepped on Kong and crushed him, right? That would be interesting, right? Just crushed him, just smash him into bits. It'd be interesting. But it wouldn't make for much of a movie unless, you know, they're planning to introduce a bigger threat or something that, you know, the Kong thing was just kind of like a side piece, which they're not going to do, right? If they make enough money, they're going to continue making these franchises, and they're not going to kill their characters if they want to have a future, right? So I would say if you've enjoyed, honestly, if you want to actually, like, Skull Island was very well done. King of the Monsters, for me, if you're going to go for Godzilla, the best movie is King of the Monsters. If you're going to go for Kong, well, you don't have many options. It's Skull Island, right? But much like Freddy versus Jason, all I wanted to do was see them fight. Alien versus Predator, all I wanted to do was see them fight. Do they have the most amazing stories? No, it's very basic. This entity is fighting this entity. Because it's a movie where the entities don't speak, we got to throw in people just so there's someone we can relate to, someone to actually explain what's happening, tell the story, right? But none of the movies are, you know, well, literally none of them won Oscars, so, but they are just it's a battle movie. It's like a fight. It's like playing a fighting game, like a video game, right? Don't expect there to be no crazy story. Just play the game for the violence. You play it for the fighting, for the action, right? That's it. So I'd say if you want to, you know, just, it's a fun, turn your brain off, action, literally monster versus monster. It's the same reason, like, why I really like Pacific Rim. Second movie, not so much. But it's why I like these giant monster movies, these movies where they have the kaijus and the mechs and all that stuff. It's just to see the action, larger than life, right? So I would say it's worth a watch, right? And if you have HBO Max or you can watch it streaming for free, hey, why not, right? Something to do. But I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for joining me on another Let's Go for a Ride adventure. And you'll hear from me soon.